Okay, we're going to tackle now, this is August the 4th, 2025. We're going to tackle now Revelation 13. The woman is being persecuted, floods coming against her. Now the woman's protected. Now the serpent is going after all of her offspring, which I assume is worldwide. So let's go. Chapter 13 of Revelation. Then, here we go. Then I stood on the sand of the sea and saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his and on their heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth was the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. So this is the son of perdition. This is what we would call the Antichrist. He's in a human body. He has personhood. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded. So this is the story that's going to be behind the son of perdition. He's dead, now he's back to life. Some great former Napoleon, Alexander the Great, some kind of figure coming back to life that played a worldwide power game. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled at the beast. So they worshipped. It's always been about worship, guys. Everything's about worship. People worship the sun, they worship the stars, they worship people, they worship trees, they worship mountains, they worship religious systems. It's all about worship. Everything, science, outer space, NASA worships serpents and all kinds of nonsense, and the moon. It's always been about worship. Remember, why did Cain kill Abel? Because his sacrifice wasn't received by God. His worship was not acceptable to the Creator, only Abel's. And out of jealousy, which we see right here with the dragon and coming down to earth and is fomenting anger toward the offspring of God, which it's always been there, the offspring of Abraham, supernatural, physical, national, all the offspring of Abraham by faith he hates. He hates Israel because she will be restored. Right? I can't stand it. I can't put my hand on the phone the way I want to without my finger covering the camera. Sorry. It's just a pain. Anyway, I want to edify you. I want to keep it going here. Alright, here we go. And the world marveled. And they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So it's intimidation, power. Just like during COVID, you had these people making rules. You can't function without doing things the way they say. Take the vax, do a mask, 6 feet separation, stay home. Quit your job, shut down your restaurants. That's the power they want. They're going to get it. That's the point. One day they will get worldwide power from the dragon. The system, the beast system will have full control and people will be petrified. That's coming. No one can make war. It's all these anons and truthers and all this stuff like in the background, the real generals, all that. No, everybody's going to be summarized under the beast. The only people that are going to survive are the remnant, and they don't have weapons. They're being hidden. They're being protected. Just like when Elijah did the big showdown with Baal and Asherah and the prophets on top of Mount Carmel. And after he won beautifully, and God showed off big time, and then eventually started raining so hard that it was flooding the land, Elijah runs away and finds out that Ahab or Jezebel's coming after him, and he felt like he was all alone. And I know I feel that way. I know what he feels like. But God tells him there's 7,000 that I've reserved for myself that have not bowed the knee to Baal. That will always be true. There will always be a remnant. That's why I don't believe in the rapture. You'll see when we get to 14, it gets a little more difficult to understand, who's left, right, during the tribulation. I believe we go into the tribulation if we're alive. Our children may be going into the tribulation. That's why we got to prepare them for all this stuff. It's biblical truth. But God is near. His throne is right above our head. Jesus is sitting on it. He has a scepter. It's a rod of iron. He is going to reign over the earth at some point. We just have to have the word of his testimony. We just have to love his commandments. And they're not grievous. It's a Sermon on the Mount. That's what his commandments are. It's not a bunch of regulations. Blessed are you who mourn. Blessed are you you'll be comforted. The meek, be meek, right? Endure persecution. Love righteousness. Do the right thing. That's the commandments of Jesus. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Don't commit adultery. Don't look at porn. Don't dishonor your parents. That's a big one for young people today. They don't understand that God really, really, really wants them to honor their parents, even if they disagree. It's just built into society in the legacy of faith. You have to honor your father and your mother. I had to do it. My parents had to do it, going all the way back. Okay. And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority by who? God. To continue for 42 months. So God is going to allow the beast for 42 months with a human being, with great oratory skill, with great intimidating way of being. Everybody was afraid of Nebuchadnezzar. Everybody was afraid of Pharaoh. It's that kind of worldwide Nimrodic type leadership. Then he opened up his mouth in blasphemy against God. He blasphemed his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and overcome them. So now we got a lot of dead saints. That's what it means, okay? And authority was given over every tribe, tongue, and nation. So this is a short 42-month period, but a lot of blood is being shed of the people of God. It's a horrible thing, but you don't care if once you die, you're in his presence, and you're going to reign with him. Don't be afraid to die. Don't be. Don't love your life to try to avoid death if that's what God wants for you. That's how we have to think going forward. No more churchianity. Individuals have to stand up for God, individually before God, like Abraham. And all who dwell on the earth will worship him. All, right? Those whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. How do you get in the book of life? By faith, devotion, and obedience. It's faith that makes you obedient to the call. The call is to do whatever he says. He's your master. That's how simple this is. If you hear his voice, do not harden your heart. Not today, not ever. If anyone has an ear today, let him hear. He who he leads into captivity, go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. It's everything. Patience, faith, patience, faith. You're going to hear that from me so much. It's all about patience and faith. Supernatural. We're living in a supernatural existence at this point in human history. Miracles everywhere. Just like the Chinese Christians underground, or anywhere there's persecution of Christians, they need miracles to survive. And there's many books written about the miracles. The Heavenly Man is a good book. Look it up. Heavenly Man. Incredible story. Incredible story. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. And he who exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So you have the son of perdition and the prophet, the one attending or pointing finger to. That's the guy. He's the one. He's the Christ. He's the one that we need to worship, not the one in heaven. He performs great signs so that even he makes fire to come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by these signs which were granted to do. He did in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast. Doesn't that sound like Nebuchadnezzar in the dream, Daniel's dream, and the golden image of that? As soon as you blow the trumpet, you have to bow down. And what did Daniel's friends, the 3 of them, not do? They didn't bow. And what happened to them? They were given multiple chances because they were leaders. They were Daniel's friends. Daniel was important. They were thrown into the fire, and they were preserved in the fire. That's what it's all going to come down to, guys. We're going to be thrown into the fire of tribulation. That's our calling. That end time believers, you're called to the fire. You're called to fight. You're called to run. You're called to pray all the time without ceasing. That's where we're headed, guys. To the beast who was wounded and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except the one who has the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast and the number of him. It is a number of the man. The number is 666. So you got the context, right? Everybody likes to run to that verse and talk about 666 and see it in the one-eyed people and see it in everything, basically. It's in globe and heliocentrism. The numbers, they're all in there. So it's satanic. It's evil. It's a lie. But you're going to realize that the whole earth is going to worship the beast. And the whole earth is going to be asked to take the mark. And if you're going to have to survive without being part of their system, buying and selling. So you're going to need to make your own food. And you're going to need to be part of a community. Right? You may be one of those people that can be by yourself in a cave and eat locusts and wild honey. Right? Isn't that funny? Like how these things come to me. John the Baptist was alone. Yeah, he had disciples. But think about it. He didn't shave. He was out in the wilderness. He ate locusts and wild honey. He was not in the civilized world, which is where you're going to buy and sell. You can't be in the civilized world. And yet he is the precursor. He is the introducer of the Son of Man, Son of God, King of all things. Jesus Christ. And in the last days, before Jesus comes down and judges all this wickedness, right? Those kind of people survive. They're wilderness people. They're comfortable, or they can survive because they're made for it. They're made to. So what are we trying to do right now? Tree of Life Farms, the whole thing, is build a self-sustaining structure. Will it work? I hope so. I believe it's needed. But I need God's miracles to make it happen. And that's what I'm waiting upon today. May God bless these words. Shalom.